What's up, LEGO builders? Welcome back to Coconut Brick Studios for another week of building Coruscant. I've started to get some questions, people asking, when am I going to build that cutaway apartment? When is the interior apartment going to come together? And well, this week is your week, if that's what you've been wondering. I had to pull out some pillars and do some work on the front wall, and while I was in there, I figured, you know what, I'm already rearranging stuff in here. I might as well put the apartment in. I'm also going to be doing a little bit of work up top on the roof, so a lot of apartment stuff this week, but hopefully it'll still be a good, entertaining update. If you're excited to see what the apartment's going to look like, don't forget to execute Order 66 on that like button. With that being said, let's get started. First things first, I need to get the front wall of this building tiled off. To get to the wall, I need to tear out some of the interior support pillars so I can reach the front wall and support it with my hand while I put the plate and tile on. The reason this needs to be done now is because if I wait until all the skyscrapers are done and the roof is finished, it will be much harder to pull out the support pillars as the roof may collapse in on itself or sag. And with the skyscrapers being on top, I won't be able to reach my arm through the lower section of the building and lean over it at the same time to see what I'm working on. Plus, it'll just be nice to finally have the entire front section finished and help me envision better what the lower buildings of Coruscant are going to look like. I also had an idea regarding the vents on the wall. I'm going to put dark orange and medium nougat plate underneath and behind the vent so it looks like rust, dirty water, or debris has corroded the wall and seeped out around the opening and down below the vent. I feel like this will help add some good grungy, realistic detailing to the walls and just add some pops of color to the MOC in general.
Look at these beautiful walls, the detailing, the greebling, the pop-outs, the maintenance area. I'm sure it's not every day you get to sit here and listen to some dude just ramble on about how much he loves the Lego walls, but I'm just really happy with how these turned out because I feel like I was really able to capture my vision and what I wanted this building to look like. It looks very industrial, very urban, and I think once we get the skyscrapers up on top, it's going to look even better. I'm also really happy just to have this entire front area tiled off because now I can do a lot more with the road, with thumbnails, pictures, and other good stuff. I even started tiling off some more of the roof. I've got a little bit of a frame built in around this vent, but as I was building this part, I decided to wait and add in the larger structures and greebling on the roof and then fill in the rest later, just because there is so much going on with the roofs of Coruscant with little buildings and pop outs. I don't want this area to look too flat, and I feel like if I put down a bunch of plate and tile first and then the other stuff, there will be too much plate and tile flat areas and not enough buildings. I like what I did with this section where I added in the big structures first, like the foundation, this area, this vent, this pop-up, and then went through and filled in the gaps with tile and plate and other smaller vents. I feel like this looks more reminiscent of Coruscant. Here's another look at the little dirty rust and debris sections I put on the vents. I'm not sure if I like having a plate up above the vent. I'm thinking about swapping this out for light blue gray so it's only down beneath the vent. That seems to be that looks a little bit more realistic, I think. That's what I did with this vent over here. You can see there's just a little bit exposed on the bottom. I also have a haul with some really good stuff to show you guys. So I got a bunch of dark blue pieces in, and if you haven't already guessed what these could be for, I am going to be building the first of my 3 separatist AATs. And I also got a couple of minifigures. You'll recognize these bad boys from a set from the Force Awakens movie. I don't remember what they're called, but I think they look really cool. I've seen them used as generic bodyguards, and I thought that was a great idea because this MOC is going to be my most minifigure heavy MOC to date. There's going to be all different kinds of minifigures. While I do have a lot of minifigures, I don't have a wide variety of minifigures. So as soon as I saw these guys, I knew I had to pick them up. They're going to be escorting, some bounty hunter or warlord or some criminal boss to safety.
I figured since I was already pulling out the interior walls and messing around inside of the apartment building, I might as well start work on the apartment cutaway. And that's probably something I should get done sooner rather than later. I have to rip out the entire side wall of this building that is helping hold up the roof and replace it with brick. So I don't want to wait until the roof is even heavier to do so. Once it's out, I'm going to add a huge wall of light bluish gray bricks with a hole at the bottom where the apartment cutaway will be. I can already tell this is going to look way better as a brick wall than one of plate and tile. So to the person who suggested this originally, I'm really sorry I forgot who it was, but thank you. Once that is done, I'm going to lay out the shape of the apartment. It will be a rectangle with a little jog in the wall on one side where the door and entryway will be. Now these apartments are pretty close to the Senate building in a fairly nice part of Coruscant. So I would imagine that these apartments, while small, would probably be somewhat fancy and luxurious, and I want to represent that by adding in some fancy details and aspects to this apartment, like a stone archway that leads from the main room to the back bedrooms. There won't be a door here, just some black bricks to represent a dark hall. I'm also going to put some art on the walls, nothing crazy, just some little dark red and dark blue tiles to give kind of a modern art vibe. And in the entryway, I had the idea to add a coat closet with dark red doors for people to store coats, hats, and shoes. I decided I'm going to take a little break from working on the apartment and work on the roof again. I kept telling myself I need to start on the battle damage for the clone base, but I have been very uninspired and unmotivated to work on anything over there, so I'm not really going to push it. Plus, I have had this idea of a structure I want to test out. It's a rectangle with some angled walls on the side. I'm going to try putting wedge plates on the corners of the panels so they create an angled corner, kind of like what I did with the roof of the base for my Jabim mock. I tried using 4x4 wedge plates and they didn't line up with each other. I think because the angle was too shallow. So I'm going to try using some 2x4 plates with a steeper angle, and if I have to, I can try using some plate to cover up the exposed gap between the two wedge plates. Let's see what's been going on. So here's that little structure I was working on in the time lapse. I wasn't able to get the 2x4 wedge plate figured out either. I was talking about maybe putting something in the gap, as you saw right there, because it leaves a pretty decent sized gap like that. And I could put bricks or plate in there. It just wouldn't look very good. The only angle I could get to line up smoothly and not have a gap is this, and you can see those plate panels are so steep they basically look like they're straight up and down, and that's just not going to work for me. This is not capturing the vision I was hoping for, so I don't want to just add it in to add it. The reason I'm even bothering with this design and trying to create something with a more pyramid-like base is because I don't want all of the pop-ups and structures up here to be the exact same, just like these tall rectangles. I wanted to add some variation in shape and size, but what I think I'm going to ultimately do is put in the buildings, because I'm going to have a big pop out that runs this direction. I know I want to do some cool angles and stuff with it. So I'm going to run this along the back and then have it run up this side. And then maybe after that's done, I'll have a better idea for what kind of shape is going to work right here, because these are more important than this. I also want to show you the apartment so far. So you can see there's that nice little stone wall archway in the back, whatever you want to call it. And then up here in the front, we have the little coat closet. I think it'll be easier for me to just come in through this cutaway. This cutaway is very convenient. I like it. It gives me easy access to this apartment. You can see on the wall there's the art. And then on the floor here, I actually threw down a nice little oval dark red design. And then I'm surrounding that with light bluish gray plate and then doing a ring of dark bluish gray plate and tile around all of that. I thought a multicolored tiled floor would look pretty nice. The reason I'm doing so much dark red and dark blue is because, this is Coruscant. This is the home world of the Galactic Republic, the home court, if you will. And so I kind of wanted to reflect that in these buildings. I feel like the people living here are going to be, very pro Coruscant, pro Republic, and, they probably have a lot of like propaganda, or not so much propaganda, but like just, national pride, whatever you want to call it on a global scale to the Republic. Kind of like, how people in their homes will have like the flags of their nationalities or the colors and stuff like that. And plus, I feel like dark red and dark blue are kind of like royalty colors. So I felt like they would do well in here. I do need to add some more dark blue. The front part of this apartment is not going to be finished till everything back here is done. I still need to add in some lights, some more details and furniture, and I don't want to make it hard for me to reach in there, so this will all be finished last. That's pretty much everything for this update. I mean, I didn't do any work over there whatsoever, but we'll talk about why in a second. Pretty much everything was just here, but I feel like what I got done here was good, especially with that apartment cutaway. So much of that was figured out this week. All that being said, let's talk about why this week kind of sucked. Man, let me tell you guys, this week was rough. I was uninspired, unmotivated. As a lot of you guys know, my laptop died. I've been having technology issues, switching over to a new phone, having issues there, just issues across the board. And when you have technological issues as a YouTuber, obviously that's not fun. So I'm hoping I can get everything resolved this weekend. That way next week I can just focus and get re-excited, re-inspired for this build. That being said, I did get some good stuff done this week, and I really want to get started on the Separatist AAT, so hopefully that'll be in next week's update. All that being said, don't forget to let me know what you thought about this week down below in the comments, and I will catch you guys next time. But until then, happy building.